Hey everyone, my name is Chris and this is my G2, and I'm here today because I wanted to talk to you about an issue that I have inside of Microsoft Flight Simulator. So when I'm playing Microsoft Flight Simulator in VR, I have this issue where when I move my head around, I feel like the cabin is moving too much than what it should be in real life. And the reason that I believe that it's doing that is that inside the game, when you're tilting your head up and down, well, that's where you perceive the movement the most. Well, I think that the camera inside the game is just tilting up and down. As for in real life, your eyes naturally want to track to objects. So when you tilt your head downwards, the eye wants to lock and kind of move upwards. And when you tilt your head upwards, the eye wants to lock and stay downwards. So the perceived movement around you is always less. And in most games, when I play VR, this is what I get. I have this true to life feeling of when I'm looking at either menus or just environments around me that things are tracking the way they should. But when I'm in Microsoft Flight Simulator inside a plane, and when you really get to notice it the most is if you just nod your head like this up and down, you really get to see the cabin sway up and down, what seems to me way too much. So I want to show you what it looks like, and I want to ask you guys, maybe I'm wrong and maybe there's something I don't understand, but I want to show you a few examples of how it reacts in Microsoft Flight Simulator and a few other games, and basically help Microsoft solve this problem if it's really something that should be fixed. So let's take a look. Okay, so for a quick test, we're in Windows Home, and so I'm looking at this Holo Tour icon in VR, and so when I just tilt my head downwards and upwards, it just stays. Now if I do the same thing just a little faster, so I could still easily read Holo Tour. If we look at the cross here in front of us, we look straight at it, and now we're going to go up and down, and now just nod a bit quicker, up and down. The cross is staying exactly right in front of me. So maybe just another little small example. I'm just here looking at the Steam menu, and it's in front of me. And now if I nod downwards and upwards, and if I nod a bit quicker, it's staying perfectly aligned. Okay, now let's try wrench. Again, just looking at the icon loading up. Seems good. Okay, just resume. So what we could do here is just open up the iPad. This guy in front of us. Okay, just nod up and down. And yep, as expected, it's moving a little bit, but it's pretty much locked in front of me. You could see some subtle movement, but really not that much. Okay, so now we're in Microsoft Flight Simulator. We're sitting on the runway in a Cessna 152. And if we look at our dash here, now if we move our head up and down, so basically the takeaway is that when I screen capture all this, it's giving me the same effect because basically the screen capture is a camera filming what I'm doing inside the headset. So when I tilt my head downwards, well, you see the object move, and then when I tilt my head upwards, you see the object move. But when you're inside the VR headset, you really feel like that object is being pinned in place. So basically the only way to test this out is for you guys to really try it out and tell me if, this makes sense or not. Because basically, if you understand what I'm saying and this is really an issue, hopefully we could get this to Asobo so they could fix it, and get this sim up to really a more realistic kind of state. So thank you for listening, and hopefully this will help in making a better sim. Thank you very much. Hey everyone, so I was just about to post this video and I decided to do some extra tests to make sure that I wasn't wasting anyone's time, and so I went back into Microsoft Flight Simulator with OpenXR opened up at 50% and motion reprojection off, recorded some footage, brought it into editing and stabilized it, and then I went into Dirt Rally 2 and also did the same thing inside a car. And since they're both inside like a very close space, I thought they would have like a very good resemblance. So I did the same thing. I did a screen capture, brought it into the editing software, stabilized it, put them side by side, and was just comparing the footage. And it just got me thinking that I really don't understand what's happening inside of Microsoft Flight Simulator. And I was sitting there inside the plane and moving my head around and just thinking a bit more deeply into like what could be causing this, and it got me thinking that maybe it had nothing to do with this tilting motion. It's just because when you tilt your head in that manner, that's when you could like perceive it a bit more, but maybe it had something to do with like the translation of your head itself. So when you do that tilting motion, maybe it's the slight kind of variation of the translation that's causing this weird effect. I don't know anymore, but anyways, I just wanted to tell you guys that, any kind of input would be greatly appreciated, and I just don't know what the issue is, but I know something is, something's off. Thank you guys. Bye.